I'm glad to be here, and I hope to engage with you more. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Fred, for reiterating the importance of public participation. And just like I said, yes, we've supported the county. We still continue to support other county government. What is the space? Also, we will discuss how would we use digital platforms to enhance inclusion in political parties. And that's why we will have a conversation, because especially young people who are not able, to turn up in person in these particular platforms, how would they leverage through this platform? We'll have that conversation in few. May I welcome Patrick? Patrick, the director in the Department of Public Participation, Citizen Engagement, and Customer Service in Nairobi City County. Patrick, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. As you heard, my name is Patrick Orenga Ngasa, the Director, Public Participation and Citizen Engagement, Nairobi City County Government. To our daughters, to our sisters, to our mothers, to our grandmas, we love you. And we know you have a huge stake in development of society. In the matter of public participation, I will say that legitimacy of government is derived when the governed feel part of the solutions, part of the decisions, part of the development. And so we know we didn't do well as a country when it comes to deliberate civic education to make public participation meaningful. But since the Constitution came, which we don't need to call new anymore, because it no longer needs our current Constitution, then there's been impetus towards having deliberate, useful public participation that will then inform sustainable development. So as Nairobi County government, we have also taken steps to live to the best international practices. I know that shall be dealt with here. We will ask questions and perhaps, but we are doing our best to ensure we live to the tenets that makes public participation what it should be, and to ensure that citizens are really involved in their development and in shaping their future. Thank you very much. Those will be my opening remarks. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Patrick, would we just appreciate their introduction and them being here? Thank you so much. I would hand this session over to Dawn for presentation. You be candid, will be brief, and then we can come and gauge the participants in the panel again. Then we close it. I'm told that we've eaten into our time, and we will go very fast and very quick as we can.
Good afternoon, everyone. Si nimejaribu kuimprovise. Si imefanya. Si munipigie makofi tafadhali. So I'll quickly take us through the Civic Voices project, what it is, what about the Civic Voices app, and what you've been able to do with the county. All right. So right from the introduction here, towards digitized and inclusive public participation in Kenya. That's what we are working towards as Civic Voices. You'll allow me to block the guests here so that we can use the screen. So we support communities and the governments to carry out more meaningful and inclusive public participation. The whole agenda is inclusivity, right? When you don't get the information, when you're not included in decisions that affect your life, right? What then happens? That's a question that we're going to answer. Right? But how do we do this? We have decentralized public participation through tech, that whether you are at home, at school, at work, you can engage in any public participation that has been called through your phone. So Civic Voices is a mobile app for public participation. Through the app, right, you get all the information that is being discussed. You can submit your views there, and you can engage with people in matters that are being discussed, and even of our communities that are being discussed in the platform. So that is how the Civic Voices platform works. It's now available. It's available on Google Play Store. If you're here, you download Google Play. Go to Google Play Store. Search for Civic Voices. As we continue, you can also go through the platform. So the goal is to bring public participation closer to the people through technology. And I'll rush through this because of the time that has been spent. What's the problem? Just a quick statistics, right? Watu wangapi hapa ndani wako na gazeti? Gazeti ya leo? None. By show of hands, gazeti ya leo, watu wangapi wako nayo? Now that's the problem, right? By law, all public participation information is supposed to be shared in 2 widely circulated newspapers. But now, just a quick statistic, none of you has today's newspaper. So how many of us have missed information about public participation that have been published today? 100%. So that's the greatest challenge. The moment you don't have information, there's no way social accountability can happen. There's no way we can give our voices to matters being discussed, and there's no way we can contribute to governance. That's the challenge. So the opportunity that is with us is through digitization, that wherever we are, can we still get the information as we get, just like we get notifications on WhatsApp, on Facebook, and all that? Can we know what's going on? And can we engage? Can we get our voices heard so that together we can build or we can contribute the building of our communities? Now, the threat that is with us, and especially now that we have the data, all of us don't have information about public policy that have been published today on the papers, and we cannot engage. Look at the threats that are facing us. Economic inequality, so that only those who can engage then can take advantage of the opportunities that are there, and can, politics is about who gets what, where, and how much. And if you cannot speak for yourself in the forums, then how will your needs, how will you get your piece of the cake? You cannot. So then that leads to economic inequality. We are talking about corruption, runaway corruption that's going on every day because you don't know what's going on and you cannot engage. Talk of propagating conflict, because conflict is an aftermath of exclusion. And we've had history of conflict in Kenya that is politically instigated for a long time. Then the last one, and which is bedeviling us even today, and I'll read that: killing the spirit of collective contribution in governance. Right? That when public participation, or we are not included in public participation, by all those challenges that are there, with time, Roy Nakufa. And that's how we have political apathy even to date. Look at statistics in the last elections. How many people voted? Why did they not vote? Right? Now, is there hope? There is hope. Because Kenya is a digital society. 11.5 active social media platforms. 44.5 million Kenyans are online. Right? And we have seen evidence of Kenyans, locally and internationally, shaking things, kutumia mtandao. You remember the CNN story, where they say Kenya is a hotbed of violence. Kenyans came out. It was not easy, right? So if we can do this internationally, using mtandao, what about locally? How much can we achieve if we take advantage of this opportunity that is before us? And the opportunity we've talked about, digitization. I won't go back to that, but the statistics I've shared. Sorry, I'm covering the TV. Then you're talking about the confidence of possibilities. In as much as the COVID-19 pandemic was a disservice, it showed us alternatives of what is possible, even without physically meeting, right? That is an example of Chief Justice, Honorable Lady Justice Martha Koome presides over her inauguration. You remember the inauguration of the bench, right? It was done online, and today even courts are being done online. So that was an opportunity, evidence rather of possibility. The law provides for employment of online platforms to carry out public participation. Read the County Governance Act from Article 87 through to 91. It provides for all that. So we have an opportunity here, and we have proof of possibility of what is possible through this. This one I'll read word by word, right? What do we do as Civic Voices? And we say most ordinary Kenyans lack access to engage with their government because public participation is hardly inclusive and effective, right? So we state that the difference that we all want in our communities and in our countries and all that cannot happen unless we here as a people, right, and communities take action towards making that difference. And we at Civic Voices believe that every voice counts and everybody must have a chance to give their voice in matters that affect their lives. So then Civic Voices opens up more opportunities for you to be part of creating that change that you want to see by bringing public participation closer to you through tech. Today, I'm sure each one of you, either you went to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or WhatsApp, right? And then it's possible to also channel the same energy to build better communities for ourselves, because it's our responsibility. So I mentioned this in the introduction about the Civic Voices app and what it is. It's basically an online platform for public participation. I won't go much into that. So what the platform does, 4 main things. It informs you. Once you have the app, you will never miss any information that is going on in matters governance, in public participation, notices and all that. Then through the platform, we mobilize people to come and engage. Once you know, then we mobilize you. Sometimes it's needed for specific mobilization. For instance, if a public participation is for, give me a ward director in Nairobi, any ward, Matopeni ward, or Spring Valley, and we want to specifically target that one. So you can mobilize, you can do targeted mobilization through the app. This is a possibility. Then after that, we collect the information during now public participation. The memoranda are submitted digitally, and it's very easy. If you go there, you just see guided through very smoothly. Once it's collected, then we can report back. And this is one of the challenges, Director, that even we saw on the ground while interacting with the people. People complain that public participation is done, but there's no feedback from what has been discussed. So then how do you ask us to keep coming where you don't give us feedback? So through the platform, then we're able to give feedback directly from what has been discussed. Now, what are the advantages of employing tech or using the Civic Voices platform? We're talking about cost, both to the people and to the county government. Most of the time, their budgets are limited, yet we need to carry out public participation at that particular level. When you employ tech, then we can cut down on costs, access to information, talking about inclusivity. You're talking about public-private life balance, continuous civic education, evidence-based duty-bearer decision-making. That can you make decisions in governance that are based on evidence? And then the platform gives us that opportunity because it gets data from the people directly, from you, where you stay, your ward, because they're able to break down that information to the ward level, even to the village level. Then lastly, an interface between county and national policies and development discussions. So that's basically how it works. I think I've touched on that. What's more, you can see all proposals under discussion, public notices and events. Then you can access information in different formats. Sometimes, most of the time, we get a handload of information, 300 pages. They are supposed to read before you submit your views. So through the platform, that information is broken down into simple language and into explainer videos as well for people who don't like reading. So be sure you will no longer get the big pamphlet alone. You'll get that for those who like reading. You get the summaries, so they'll get the explainer videos. So that when you understand, after you understand, you can now submit your views. So that it's informed contribution, not just something that comes out of. So benefits to governments, skip, to citizens as well. I think I've touched on that. So allow me 2 minutes to just finish up on this. We've handled 5 public participation items in partnership with Nairobi City County government. And this is a quick breakdown of what transpired. We have the year 1 service review, we have the county aggregation industrial parks, then we had the affordable housing program, we had the finance bill and the establishment of boroughs, which passed. Now we have 6 boroughs in Nairobi, basically devolving county service. So from summary, look at the possibility, and this was just on a small scale. The kind of reach from the year 1 service review, we're talking about 4,000, vis-a-vis an engagement of 2,000. How many people come to a public participation forum, director, on average? 100 per sub-county, that's about 1,700. So look at the possibility of using digital platforms, 29,000. We're talking about, it's on this side. We're talking about 30,000. We're talking about 18 on the finance bill. We're talking about 50,000 on the establishments of boroughs, which was a very robust conversation. Right? Now, taking an example of the boroughs, we had 1,203 submissions, 83 of whom were persons with disability. So we're talking inclusion here. People with disability, young people, women, and all those people, overcoming traditional barriers to engagements in governance. This breakdown in terms of age groups, the breakdown in terms of sub-counties, breakdown in the submissions, and all that. So because of time, I won't take us through all this. But basically, that is a possibility. That is basically a demonstration of what is possible when you employ tech in enhancing governance. So, Dan, that was my time. Thank you so much.
Can we give a round to Don? Let's clap for Don for the presentation. Thank you so much. Because we are pressed of time, I want to go to the panel for questions. What have you heard from the presentation? Just one word. What have you heard? What can you take away? Yes. The roaming microphone. I'll take 2 views, 3, and then I hand it over to panel. What have you heard?
I've heard about public participation make it